One way I like to use the CAGED system is just at the end of a song to play something that just sounds kind of cool. So here's the end of our song. Okay, just creating a nice little ending. What's going on there? Well, I'm actually using the CAGED system. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand what I was doing. You're going to understand how the CAGED system works in the key of C major, how you can use the CAGED system to create more interesting guitar parts. My name's Aaron. I've been teaching guitar for about 17 years. I studied music at ICMP in London many years ago now. And now I run my own one-to-one guitar teaching business right here in Bath in the UK. The first thing to understand about the CAGED system is that every single open chord has a closed position version of itself, a bar chord version of itself. So, for example, let's start with the chord C. All right, open C as you would normally play it. If I want to play the chord C sharp, I have a couple of options. Now the first option might be this. To go from a C major to a C sharp, I need to go up 1 fret. So I could grab my trusty capo, plonk it down on fret 1 there, and play that same shape. Now, I'm still playing a C shape, but what I've actually got in real musical terms is a C sharp major chord because I've moved up a semitone. So just bear that in mind for a second. Let's get rid of our capo. But what if I want to do that without the capo? Let's play that C major chord again. What I have to do is I have to rearrange my fingers. Instead of using 1, 2 and 3, I have to use fingers 2, 3 and 4. Okay, I can still play C major with 2, 3 and 4, but then I'm going to move that up a semitone, and you can see where this is going. And my first finger's now free to be the capo. So essentially, I've got myself that same chord, but I'm using my first finger now. Now, that would be known as a C sharp major chord using the C major shape. C sharp major chord using the C major shape, okay? That's an important distinction between the shape and the actual chord. So if I move up a semitone, I'm playing a D chord, a D major chord, but I'm using the C shape. If I move up another semitone, I'm playing an E flat major chord using the C shape. Up another semitone, an E major chord using the C shape. So we understand that this position, this arrangement of frets here is known as the C shape because it originates from the open C chord. Okay, so maybe your mind's racing now. You're thinking, what other chords can we do this with? Well, we can do this with an A chord, C, A. Remember we've got the word caged. We take the A open chord. We're going to rearrange the fingers. Instead of 1, 2, 3, we're going to use 2, 3 and 4. Okay, but then we're going to move those 3 fingers up a fret and we're going to bar. And then we have that familiar bar chord shape, that major bar chord shape starting on the A string. So this is what's known as an A shape bar chord, an A shape bar chord. I'm actually playing B flat, but it's an A shape bar chord. I move up a semitone, I'm playing B with an A-shaped bar chord. Another semitone, I'm playing C with an A-shaped bar chord. Let's do it with the next chord. So here's our normal G major. I'm going to switch to the other 3 fingers, move everything up a semitone, and then use the first finger to bar. Now, that's going to be hard to do. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually use this shape, like ever. Unless they're teaching it. But it does have its uses because understanding the layout of this chord means you'll be able to use parts of it in your music. You don't necessarily have to play the full chord, you know, and we're going to get to that in this video a little bit too. But anyway, I'm now playing an A flat major chord using the G shape. I'm now playing an A major chord using the G shape. B flat chord using the G shape, B chord using the G shape, you get the idea. let's move to the E major chord. Rearrange the fingers, move them up a semitone, place the first finger down, and now we've got an F bar chord. Now this is everyone's kind of nemesis in early guitar days, and if you haven't quite got your bar chords down yet, then just keep going, because you will get there. It takes time to develop that wrist strength. But there you go, there's an F major chord with an E-shaped bar chord, and that is a much more familiar shape to many of you, I'm sure. An F sharp with an E-shaped bar chord, a G with an E-shaped bar chord. All right, and then you may notice we've spelt the word C-A-G-E, cage, and then the last one we're going to do is a D chord, okay? We rearrange the fingers, then we move up a fret and use our first finger as a bar. Now, you don't have to do a bar here because it's only necessary to cover the one note. But again, you can move that up and you're still doing a D-shaped bar chord. So now we have established that every open chord has its own closed position version. What about if we want to play the same chord in multiple different places, like I did at the beginning? I did something like this, probably slightly different, but you get the idea, right? They were all C major. Now here's the cool bit. So this is our standard C major open chord, all right? And this is where we really need to know where our root notes are, okay? So we've got a C here on the A string, and this is the root note of this C chord going down towards the headstock, okay? But then we're trying to bring everything up this way. So we're going to take our first finger and put that on the note C, 3rd fret of the A string. And we're going to create an A-shaped bar chord, but it's still the chord C. So we've gone from this open one to this closed one. C, A, C shape, A shape, okay? They're all C major, different shapes. Then I know, because I know where my root notes are, C, the next C on the bass notes is going to be here. So I then do my G shape at this point. And that is a G shape. So I've gone C shape, A shape, G shape, and then from that same root note I can build an E shape. Are you seeing where this is going? Oops, a daisy. And that is a C major chord, but played with the E shape. And then we can do it with the D shape as well. And again, because I know where my root notes are. And if you want the diagrams and the root notes and all that kind of stuff, you can find them over on Patreon, and it's all explained in sheet form and will help you accompany this video. And then last of all, we want to do that closed position C shape. Now, it's quite difficult on an acoustic, even mine, that, you know, you can reach the 15th fret, but you can't actually get the fingers into the right place to do that shape. So I think I'm going to need an electric guitar. All right, so just for this one example, I'm going to use the electric because I've got a little bit more reach. If you can't reach up there on your acoustic, don't worry too much, but I just wanted to exemplify the C shape, the closed position C shape up here on the 15th fret. And that is how it sounds. So we've gone C shape, A shape, G shape, E shape, D shape, and then closed position C shape. Very nice. That's better. Righty. So now that we understand the concept of playing the same chord across the neck, we want to know, what can we do to make more interesting guitar parts out of it? Well, first thing to know is that you don't have to play the full chord of everything. So you could just play partial bits of these shapes. So I might do my open standard C major chord, and then instead of playing like the full A shape here, I might use just these 3 strings. And then instead of playing like the full G shape like that, I might just use these 3 strings down here. Okay, and then instead of using the full E shape, I might just use the top 4 strings there, the D, G, B and high E. So off the top of my head, you might have a song and your drum beat's kind of like dum, ga, dum, dum, ga, and you might be okay, so that's a very, very basic example with absolutely no preparation whatsoever, I'm going to admit. But you might pick those notes. Okay, so you've really got to use these shapes to get kind of creative with your guitar playing. You might use them as part of an improvised solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just some ideas, just chucking some ideas at you there. Alrighty, I hope that cleared up some of your understanding of the CAGED system. And like I said earlier in the video, there are sheets and things available on Patreon which will help explain this even further. If you do want to learn more about this and how to do it in the key of A minor, then check out the video which is on your screen now.